Alrighty, drop down. Safest way to play drop down. Explained, I guess. Here we go. Alright, live commentary. So, where do I even start here? First off, trap timer. I should probably explain this. This is kind of a big part of the strategy, to be honest, and it's honestly the easiest way to play the game. You don't need one, but without it, you kind of have to rely on a lot of, I guess, awareness on your own. And there's probably cues that you can learn, but I've just honestly learned to play with a trap timer because it's just a lot easier. So if you don't know how to set up a trap timer, or I use a manual trap timer, I'll link an automatic one in the description if you want. But the way I time it is you're only able to time it the way I like to do it if you do it manually. And honestly, doing it manual is not that hard. You'll learn how to do it eventually to pretty much like perfection. So like yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. But you can just load up wsplit or livesplit, and the binds are pretty easy to set up. You just I don't know if you can see my settings. I'll show the settings here. So yeah, the binds are pretty simple here. This is livesplit. You can do this on wsplit as well. But what you do is you set your reset to the number 2 on your keyboard, and you set pause to number 1 on your keyboard. Obviously, if you're on controller, you're either gonna have to use an automatic trap timer or, I don't know, like use foot pedals or something. But yeah, also make sure global hotkeys are toggled, of course. But yeah, pretty much what this does is when you press, oh wait, pretty much, so yeah, pretty much what this does is when you press 1, it starts going. You press 1 again, it'll pause. Press 1 again, and it'll resume. And then if you want to reset, you just press 2, and then you can start it up again with 1. So yeah, it's pretty simple to control. It'll probably take some time to get used to, but yeah, it's pretty simple. Another thing I should explain is Mule Kick, I guess. So in my 218 game, I played with Mule Kick, but you don't have to play with Mule Kick. Mule Kick is a lot safer to play with, in my opinion, because having a speed weapon means that, when you get red screened or like, there's a lot of scenarios where it's like, there's like really tight gaps or there's like not a lot of room where a speed weapon is great to have because it allows you to strafe through a lot more gaps. But if you just play the safe method, you really don't need Mule Kick, and you'll get your extra reset time. Not exactly sure how much reset you gain by keeping Mule Kick off the map on this map because of how long the reset is, but I'd assume it's probably around an hour, maybe 40 minutes at least. So yeah. In this video, though, I'll just be, doing no Mule because it's not that bad. So yeah, let's get started. So first things first, this is the spawn zone we start in. This one right here. We keep the door up here closed. Also, if you've never played any Shinonuma strategy, pretty much every strategy on this map requires you to keep the door to the hut over here closed, just because it'll fuck up your spawns otherwise. Another thing I should note is the more doors you keep closed running this strategy, the faster your SBH is. The comms door over here really doesn't make much of a difference on SBH. It's very minimum. And the doctor's hut door over here, this one also doesn't make too much of an impact. I think it's like 0.5 SBH. Because, well, actually, it might be a little more. It depends on how you play. But it's usually like 0.5-ish SBH if you keep this door closed over here. But you have to open this door here, of course, to get the zip line, which is required for the, dropping part of the strategy. And lastly, the storage door over here. If you keep this door closed, this is actually the biggest time saver just because of how far away this hut is from the flogger. It's the farthest hut away from the flogger, meaning that you lose a lot of time from zombies coming out of here. And you lose about a whole SBH to this strategy when they come from here. You can run this strategy very consistently at like 29 SBH with the door closed. And if you also have the doctor's door closed, you can run this at like 28. And yeah, it gets kind of insane, but the restarts for the perk setup is pretty annoying already. So yeah, usually I just play with whatever I get since the world record really isn't optimized yet. Okay, so now we can actually start playing the game. So, like I said, we start in the spawn zone, and this is the fastest way to begin a round. It does use a waff shot, so if you are low on waff, what you can alternatively do is just start up here, board the barrier a bit, wait like 10 to maybe 15 seconds while keeping the barrier up here boarded, pretty much until the zombies start coming up the steps here. Then you just drop down, do a normal drop down loop. It also kind of depends on what trap switch you have. So if at the beginning of a round you don't have any traps available, usually what I'll do is I'll just do that barrier method I mentioned. But if this first trap switch is ready or this trap switch is ready, then you can start the round like this. Alright, so you wait for some guys to come out in the courtyard, and then you hit this first switch, dump some Thompson to stall them, pull out your waff, and just shoot a shot up here. Pretty much immediately you want to shoot your shot up here. You also do want to check to make sure that there is zombies up there. As long as there's like 2 zombies up there, you're good to shoot, because what it'll do is if you let like 1 or 2 of the zombies jump through the barrier, you can pretty much chain to all the zombies that spawn on this top floor, so you'll only be getting the zombies which spawned on the bottom floor, which is faster, and you also are killing like 10 zombies with a waff shot, so that'll increase your SPH a lot. So yeah, we're just chilling. Now, the amount of time you stay behind the flogger on this first thing is... So generally, when you stay behind the flogger, you're only going to be staying behind here for about 10 seconds. But the longer you stay behind here, the faster it will be, because it'll kill more zombies. To an extent, you know, if you stay behind here like really long, you're going to lose time. But as long as you stay back here from 10 seconds, or 10 seconds is the safest. But if we go, when we start getting to like 15 seconds, 20 seconds, that's when it starts to get a little risky. So just keep that in mind. But for the safest method, you know, just wait back here for about 10 seconds. You can usually force up these stairs as long as you're going up them before 15, nah, maybe more like 16, 17 seconds. Because the zombies really don't start to come down these stairs until about 20 seconds after you've hit this first trap switch. And obviously this first door is a little different anyway, so yeah. Yeah, we got those guys. Force up here, and we can just chill in this spot right here. Or alternatively, you can chill in the doorway over here while boarding the barrier. If you're playing without a trap timer, you can just stall up here mega long. It is a lot slower, but it's a lot safer. Pretty sure that's pretty much like how Adopted played and probably how Tails played. So yeah. And I also played like that in my first game I got to instas, but it was slow as shit, but you know, it was safe. So we stay up here until about 25, at which we drop down. And we want to come over... Okay, this is kind of a fuck scenario, I won't lie. Because I think this guy's probably not going to wrap around here. I might have waited a little too long. Honestly, drop down a little earlier maybe. Would have been better there. Or maybe I should have stayed up a little longer here. Because, you know, the first horde's always a little fucky with the spawns. But, you know, it is what it is. But anyways... What you want to do is, after you drop down here, you want to immediately kind of check this entire room and see what kind of zombies you're dealing with. If you have zombies, like I have a zombie over here on my right, so it probably wasn't the best option for me to run this way, but usually if this area is clear over here, you're going to want to run over here for a second, because what you can do is you can get a check on this room right here, and you can see, you know, if there's any zombies in there that are going to block you. And it also allows you to pull any zombies, like this guy, for example. If there wasn't a zombie here to my right, I could just pull him right through the middle, and then I'd have a nice, easy pathway around these boxes here, and then be able to force out of this room really easily. But, yeah, let's just see how the scenario goes. Woo-wee. Alright, pretty chill. So yeah. And we don't really have to worry about stalling in this room just yet, because we don't really have a time set for our second switch. But when we do end up hitting... Okay, I'll explain this in a second. But, you know, we just run through here, chill here for a second, run through here. And then once you have the horde in the back... Okay, that was terrible. You're going to want to run as fast as possible and hit that back switch. And the thing about the back switch is, because of the direction it swings, because each of the trap switches swings a different way. So that first one will swing in a really good direction to kill a horde that's coming from the main hut. And that second trap switch is not like that. So you have to hit it quite a bit earlier just to be able to kill that horde perfectly. And even when you get it like nice and early, and then like before the zombies get there, usually like one or two somehow just fucking slip through because it's a shitty trap. To be honest, like that back switch sucks dick. Anyways, so you're gonna want to pay attention to what time you hit that back switch, because it's pretty important. And I hit mine at about like 39, I think. And the reason it's important is because we're gonna want to try to hit it as soon as it's ready. And that is a little bit risky of a play, but it is how you play this at optimal pace, and make sure you're not like going like 32 SPHs by hitting it exactly on time when it's restored. But on console, or if you're not running a trap timer, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to do that. But I'm sure you could probably figure something out. And then about 10 seconds after we've hit the trap switch again, we're just gonna force out. Another rule of thumb, like just a nice little tip, is when you're walking up the staircase here, always have your WAF out. There's very few exceptions, but you always want to have your WAF out, and you're also going to want to have your crosshair always placed on where you think a zombie would appear. Now, when it comes to shooting WAF on these stairs, I don't know if we'll encounter a scenario where we get a zombie on these stairs, and I'll talk about some ways you can prevent getting zombies on the stairs here. But in the event that you do get a zombie on these stairs, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to wait until the zombie is like right on top of you to shoot your WAF shot. And that sounds a little dangerous, and it is a little dangerous, because if you take any damage prior to running into that zombie, you're gonna die pretty much instantly, because you're gonna take WAF damage, and you're also gonna take like a hit or two from that guy. But that's just the safest way to actually hit your shots, because I've had multiple times where I tried to shoot the WAF and the bullet just like, either I hip fired it and the bullet just like went into fucking nowhere, or I tried to ADS and I shot, but I missed the shot because the zombie's fucking doing dodging shit. So it's usually best to just let the zombie like kind of get really close to you, so you pretty much have like no way of missing your shot. But it is a little risky. But I'll talk about ways where we can just avoid this whole stair scenario altogether, because it is a pretty fucked scenario. But yeah, this loop, we pretty much do the same thing we did last loop. We chill up here till, about a minute, two. That general area. Drop down here, go over here, pull the zombies, check that room. We're chilling. Okay. So we have about 5 seconds left here before this trap is ready. So we're just going to start inching our way up to the switch here. And there it is. Now, it's best to not hit that switch like perfectly on time like that. Or at least that's just what I've learned, because it is kind of risky when you wait for the switch like that. But usually it's fine, but you just want to make sure that when you cross to this doorway here, you should probably be at like 112, 113 on your trap switch, just so you have a nice bit of leeway. You're also going to want to check through the fence here. You'll notice there's like kind of like a gate here. Yeah, you can see like there's a fence here you can see through, and you're going to want to use that as a sight line to kind of check to see if there's going to be any zombies like in this general area, like spawning back here. Also, if you just come around the boxes the other way, because one way you can go around the boxes, you go Betty's, and that's kind of the shitty way to go, to be honest, because you don't really get much sight line on the other side of Flogger. But if you go out front here, you can see like all of Flogger, but the problem is like this doorway here can fuck you pretty easily. So, it's just like whatever you're more comfortable with, or whatever the scenario presents. You'll see me switch on and off of both if you watch me play, but yeah. Okay. So that little scenario there was actually really good. So if you didn't just see that, rewind a bit and look at the zombie on the window here. So this zombie here was on the window up here, and pretty much what I did was I saw that he was on the window, and my thought process is like, okay, this guy's coming out the window now, and it's safe for me to force out in the courtyard. So I'm just going to force out the courtyard, and I'm going to run up the stairs as fast as I can. That's like one of the few scenarios where I'd say you're probably okay to like not be like pre-ADSing, crosshair placement, just because, I saw this guy was on the stairs, and it's going to be safer for me to just deal with this guy up here with my Thompson rather than shooting the WAF on the stairs here. But I gotta be careful of zombies coming around that corner there. Yeah, so we came down here pretty early. Another thing is you never want to stall up there before that drop. Also, make sure the zip line is at the bottom. Don't keep the zip line up here, because that'll make them drop down slower, and that just kind of fucks with the game. or it doesn't like fuck with the game, but it can fuck with the strat. So just make sure zip line is like at bottom. But yeah, we chill here. So yeah, we're gonna have to stall a bit because my trap's gonna be ready at like 39, 38. So we're just gonna chill back here for a bit and get a nice little horde here for point whoring. Yeah, we're down here early as fuck. We're just gonna do some stalling. Okay, we're good to go, I think. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Woo! Okay, that was a little early. I should have stalled a bit more. It's fine. We still got like the majority of the horde. It's all good. It's all good. Alright. Forcing out. I probably could have waited a bit more there, but, you know, better safe than sorry. Okay. I haven't gone over point hoarding, but I'll go over some, like, I guess I'll go over some good point hoarding spots, where you can get, like, hella points. One is, like, right here, like, literally just shooting the zombies coming out of that doorway. I don't recommend doing that too terribly much, just because, it kind of makes you lose focus to this side over here, so, like, if a zombie, like, sneaks up through here, you know, he could fuck you, so, yeah. Another really good spot, actually, is right here. Like, literally just stall that zombie like that, and you're chilling. I probably should have waited a second maybe there. Just because. So the thing is, with the second trap switch, the best time to get it around is about 36 to like 38 for safety. That's the general area you want to be in. 39 is a little high in my opinion, so I really should have waited a bit there on that first switch so I could get that second trap switch at a little bit better of a time for me, safety wise, but you know. Okay, we're just gonna drop down here. Here we are, nice little hoarding spot. I didn't go up here because there was no zombies in this area here, that I didn't have to, or there was no zombies in this area here that I had to like lure out of my way. And usually you don't get too many zombies coming from here. It'll usually be like 1 or 2 at max, but sometimes there is a fuck situation where there's like 3 or 4 coming through here, but you know, you just keep your WAF out a lot of the time and you'll be okay. Okay, we're stalling a bit. Oh, I should have ran a little earlier, but it's all good. We'll fix the trap timing. This is another really good Tommy spot. This is one you should always be doing, is pretty much always be doing. Obviously, you gotta watch the zombies coming from the swamp over here and over here. But that's a really good one, though, because you'll have your full horde, which means you're getting 3 penetration. So you're getting 3 times the points you would if you were just shooting 1 zombie, since it penetrates 3 zombies at max. Oh my god, that sounds sus as fuck. It's okay. Oh shit, this is kind of a shitty force out. Woo! We're good. Kind of a risky force up here because usually on that second trap switch at about like 55 is like the bare, or that's like the max that you want to be starting force up those stairs, because these zombies up here come a little quicker, but it's alright. We're good. We're all in good fun here. Woo-wee. Strafe. Hip fire. Hip firing is your friend on this, by the way, because, you know, it's a little safer than ADSing. Okay, we're going to chill just a bit here, let the trap recover a bit of time, just so my trap timing is a little better. Okay, we're not going to be able to get this guy, but it's alright. That is one thing you want to watch out for. Always watch out for the zombies on the other side of the trap before you force through. Should be a given. Okay, you see, like, there was a lot of zombies there, so I was kind of waiting. That was actually a pretty fucked scenario, I won't lie. Okay, I went a little fast there, but it's alright. We're good, we're good. You'll notice I'm going a little fast at parts, but it's okay. You just, usually over the course of a game, you'll just learn to make adjustments to your play style to be more consistent. Or at least that's how I play. Maybe that's why I suck. Who knows? Yeah. Just gonna try to make back some of these points here, because, you know, it looked like we were in a deficit there for a bit. That was kind of a risky force to the trap there because there's 3 of them. But, you know, if they're coming from all directions like that, usually it's better not to take the risk. But obviously it depends on what round you're on. And you'll change your playstyle depending on, like, you know, where you're at in the game. Or at least I do. You know, when you're later in the game, you play a little safer. And this strat's pretty safe, though, so, you know, we're chilling. Okay, this is going to be kind of a late force out. A little risky, but it's all good. Another thing is make sure you're making use of movement techniques like wall boosting. Wall boosting is really helpful in this map. If you don't know what wall boosting is, if you hold W and A or W and D, or I think in controller you just kind of like throw your joystick in like the corner of your controller or something. Pretty much if you're like pressing D and W at the same time while up against a wall on your right, you'll go faster. So I'll show a little example here. So like right here I'm holding D and W and I run, and I'm going to run faster than if I was just pressing W there. So yeah, that's just a little movement technique that you want to use a lot on Shino because there's so many walls you can wall boost off of. Okay, I don't know why that zombie went AFK, but that's kind of weird. One of my favorite wall boost spots is right here. This is a nice little wall boost if you're getting into trouble over here by the flogger. You can just wall boost out. This is another good one right here. You can wall boost along that wall. Only problem with wall boosting along this wall here is that you don't get a good sight line on the stairs. But there is actually a way you can kind of get a sight line on the stairs through that. I'll show that next loop. It's kind of a weird little mapping bug where there's like a hole you can see through. It's kind of weird. Okay, I was a little fast there. Probably should slow it down a bit. Maybe. I don't know. This guy's just spawned up front. I'll try to show off this little hole I'm talking about right there. I don't know. Kind of hard to see, especially if you're on lower qualities. But pretty much what you saw there was like a hole in the wall through like the sheet metal that allows you to see up the stairs. So if you do end up doing that wall boost there, take that opportunity to, you know, wall boost it up. $12, $13, $14, $15, $16. That's a nice little way you can stall the horde kind of while you're here, is if you walk up along this fence here. Usually they don't follow you onto that fence, just because I think the, just because I think the path nodes there is kind of small or something. I don't know, they don't path really well around that fence gate. So yeah, that's kind of free as fuck. Also, another thing there, you saw me like kind of run around that guy. That's not the safest thing in the world, but if it's only one zombie on the stairs, it works out a-okay. But if there's more, it usually fucks you up, so. You kind of learn when you should take those and when you should leave those. Yeah. There's a lot of movement techniques that I just do like naturally that I will not mention here. Mostly because like I don't even realize I do it. Like it's just I've played drop down so much that it's just like naturally ingrained in my Shino movement. And you know, that's just something that comes with time on maps really, is your aim and your movement are two things that will improve with time on any given map. Just because you'll get used to the scenarios and whatnot. So yeah. I'm not really going... Oh my god, I went really fast here. I'm not really going super duper aggro on my points. As you'll notice, my points are actually very not aggro. Very unaggressive. I'm not really aggressive point hoarding here. But, in a real game, I think if you watch my 218 game around the the 130s, 140s is probably when I'm going really hard as fuck on point hoarding. I'm also gonna link some Mango VODs in the description because Mango probably has more time on Shino than I do. And he plays drop down a little bit different from me, but honestly I adapted my playstyle mostly from him. So I'll link that in the description. But yeah. So yeah, that's a round of drop down, safe drop down, really safe drop down. Or not like really, really safe drop down, but that's like fast but safe drop down. And yeah, it's not that hard to run as long as you put in the time to learn the map. So now I'm going to go over some other just like kind of little bits of like force out, safety force outs type of things. Usually you don't want to be doing these early. Oh, wait. That trap timing was like what I'm talking about, where you want to just like do a drop down here. It gets a little risky doing drop downs here sometimes, depending on where they spawn, but it looks like we got really good spawns actually. Holy shit. We're lucky as fuck. Huge. But yeah, I'm gonna just show off some safety little safety force outs that I do from time to time. Usually, sorry, I kind of cut myself off, I think. Usually you save these for later in the game. So usually like I try not to implement these until like 100 plus, just because they do slow you down a bit. So if you care for, you know, like benchmark times like 100 or whatnot, you're not going to want to do any of these. And if you get into like a fuck scenario, you either, you know, just bite the bullet and go for it, or you just shoot your wall off. You know, depending on how aggressively you're going for times. But, you know, if you don't care at all for times, then you can start doing these whenever you need to. Okay. Oh, wait, I should start right here. Sorry, I fucked up. So I'll stay behind here for a bit. So let's say, okay, so in this example, we get stuck behind Flogger for a little longer than we would like to be behind here. So sometimes, you know, when you go for the force out at like 10 seconds after the switch is on, sometimes there's just way too many zombies in courtyard and it just does not look safe at all. And this is namely for the backtrap switch, because the spawns appear to get a lot more fucked up when you hit this back switch. I don't know why. It just kind of all pans out over time. But, so, you know, we don't want to force up here because it's 56 right now. And that means that there's already zombies, like, about to be going down those stairs. And I don't want to get caught by, like, 5 zombies on the stairs. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a loop of another strategy, called, like, new strategy, 5-5. I personally call it 5-5 strategy. But it's pretty much drop down without the drop part. So you pretty much just walk through here, go through this doorway here, go to the swamp zone over here, and then you do a loop. And yeah, it's a actually pretty chill loop. So yeah, so let's say, okay, now I can safely force out. Woo! So we'll go over here. You can throw a board on the barrier right there if you want, but you pretty much just do a loop of this. The spawns in courtyard and from swamp will be kind of fucked up because we don't have a lot of spawn control. Like, see that guy there? We got a lot of guys coming from there. So you just gotta beware of this doorway here and just courtyard in general, but like generally the swamp over here, the double tap swamp, you know, this area. We gotta be careful of the spawns coming from here. Since the since we were outside of the spawn control. By the way, I didn't explain this earlier, but the spawn control over here, what it does is it makes it so the zombies will only spawn from 6 barriers as long as you have the door up here closed. They'll spawn from this barrier, the one over here, the one down here, the one over here by the trench gun, and then these 2 right here, I think. Yeah. So that's 6 barriers, and that's really good for spawn control. However, we can't really get to this spawn control very often, but this is why drop down's like such a good strategy, is because we go into the spawn control so often. Or we're staying in the spawn control over here for quite a bit of time, which is really nice. But yeah, so since we did like a loop of 5-5, the spawn control is out, so they're going to be spawning from every direction a lot more. But yeah, that's just one way you can safely force out. And yeah, and I did that in my 218 game quite a bit.
I think. And it's actually faster to play loop 5-5. Like 5-5 is a strategy that's faster than drop down, but it's just riskier. But doing that little loop there, you know, it'll save you the headache of having to deal with a shitty stair scenario, and it'll also save you the headache, or it'll also like speed up your game a bit. But yeah, let's say, okay, another scenario here is if this doorway here gets fucked. Now this doorway is a cause of a lot of deaths. My own deaths. I've seen a lot of people die in this doorway, and it's kind of a fucked up doorway because it looks a lot wider than it really is. But you can get trapped in here super easily. And the natural instinct of a lot of players when this doorway is just fucked up is to just do a cutback and then try to like rebound to the door. And I do that sometimes, but if there's like a lot of zombies in here, like you see zombies still coming out of here, you don't really get a super good idea of what's going on over here. But yeah, like if these two zombies are here, right, and then I had like another zombie here and another zombie like over here, then I would probably just do this safety loop that I'm about to show you. As long as I don't insta down. I honestly might insta down when we unpause here. But I'm going to give the safety loop a try. Ooh, we're good. Okay. So you just force out over here towards comms. And yeah, this is pretty much the safety loop. Now, there's two things you can do, or there's a few things we can do here. One is the thing that I commonly did in my 218 when I started getting to like the really high rounds, and that was just doing a full horde here and then forcing back and then hitting them with the trap, and that's pretty slow. Another thing I did in my 218 when I had the chance or when I felt safe to is just throw a monkey bomb. There's two places you can throw a monkey. I would usually try to throw the monkey up the stairs here, but eventually it kind of got a little risky in the higher rounds. You know, like when I lost my QR, it kind of lost my nerve. So I wasn't really throwing the monkey up here anymore. I would just throw it over here. Just make sure you don't throw it in the water, and you're all good. Sorry for the cutting the thing. My throat was getting really dry. Alright, so the other option you have other than full hoarding and throwing a monkey is something that I didn't do in my 218 game, and I didn't really think was really worth trying until after my 218 game, and it was actually brought to my attention by this guy who goes by the name like Knock No Patch on Twitch, and I'll link his YouTube in the description. He posts some pretty cool videos related to zombies. But yeah, he showed me this. Or he made a video showing off this little thing. Yeah, it's pretty simple. You know, you just come over here and you hit the electric trap. Now, something I should know about the electric trap is that it is entity heavy. Sorry, it is entity heavy, meaning it has 10 entities where the flogger only has 2. So your reset is a little faster. But to be honest, when you use the trap like very rarely like this, it won't affect your reset in any big way. So there's no use to really worrying about it. But it's pretty simple. First thing you do is you just get your horde through there. And my horde is a little spread out there. Honestly, it might be safer if you try to horde them up a little tighter, but you know, that works. But yeah, you run the horde through there, and then you chill in here for a minute. And you force out after a lot of them have spawned, and you're going to want to try to just get through this area here. And there's a couple ways you can look at it, but you pretty much just gotta generally check your spawns. There's a spawn over here, so if there's any zombies coming over here, you gotta be careful. But yeah, it's usually pretty safe, and you know, it looks like we got a lot of them. Obviously, you still gotta be worried about a few spawns coming from the middle hut here, since we kind of forced out a little early, plus we got some kills. You do have to do a little bit of stalling here, though, just so you actually get the full horde together again, so you don't fuck up your spawns. And yeah, there's still a couple late guys, but you know, we just wait a bit behind the trap here, and yeah. And I'm not sure if this is faster than doing the full horde. Honestly, I'm kind of mixed on it. I think it could be faster than doing the full horde up with a monkey bomb. Maybe not the monkey bomb, honestly. The monkey bomb might be faster. But obviously you don't always have monkeys. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, wait, I gotta stall a bit. So, the next safety horde up is gonna be I'm gonna start with the storage one, I guess, next. So this one's pretty chill, but there's a couple different scenarios that might cause you to enact this, but usually it involves this doorway here. So if you can't force this doorway here, you're gonna just have to do a loop over here by trench. It's pretty simple, but it does look a little risky to those who are untrained, especially depending on the loop is, but pretty much you just keep an eye on the storage door if it's open, and you can make this cut back here pretty much every time. Even if you have a lot more zombies, I'll get a bigger horde just to show off that you can like cut back that with like a full horde. But obviously keep your waff. Voice crack. Oof, yikes. But obviously if you do have a full horde and they're like really spread out, you're gonna want to keep the waff out, because you know, if like they split or some shit, you're gonna want to waff them. Also, don't try to like speed it up too much. You're gonna want to stall back here a lot. Not too much, but like, you know, just enough to make sure that zombies coming from here won't fuck you up. But yeah. Pretty chill horde up. Safety horde up. Okay, this next safety horde up, this one is, honestly, it's kind of opinion based, I think. Or personal preference is what I'm trying to say, sorry. It's 3 in the morning right now. But pretty much, you know, this doorway here, sometimes, it's very rare, honestly, but sometimes the zombies are just, like, really, like, right on top of this doorway here. And you can't go through it, so you gotta cut back. One thing is, you want to cut back towards this area over here, because there's land here, and there's also a wall boost right here. So you can force out of here really quickly, and just get away from all the zombies. Obviously, you gotta look forward and make sure you're not gonna run into zombies. But if you go this way over here, you're gonna get fucked by the drop down zombies. So yeah, wall boost over here, and then, you know, cut over here. And then we run over here. You can monkey this usually just to make it fast, but otherwise, you know, you just do a pretty chill horde up. Okay, that was pretty bad, I won't lie. If that was a real scenario and that guy like blocked me there, I could have bought the zipline and would have been fine, but yeah, usually you don't want to do that. But the horde up over here is pretty chill. Honestly, you pretty much just like do this loop here. Oh my god. And yeah, it's pretty chill. And if you do that loop, you can just run straight through this doorway, honestly. Because usually you won't have any zombies in front of you. And honestly, I haven't tested this personally. But if you wanted to try to like optimize that safety horde up, honestly, I think I only did this safety horde up over here like maybe 2-3 times in my 218 game. At most. I only remember one, I think, to be honest. So you don't really have to optimize this, but if you did want to optimize it, you know, you could hit the doctor's trap over there or hit the zip line. You know, whatever you prefer. Okay. What else? What else? I guess one more thing I'll go over here is mega stalling. Oh shoot. Okay, hold on. Forcing out late here, we're just gonna do another 5-5 horde up because, you know, it makes it easier. But yeah, I'm gonna show you how you mega stall. Pretty much when you use this is if your trap timing is like really fucked up and you have to stall a whole lot. This is preferably designed. I'm just gonna shoot an off shot here to unfuck this. Preferably you only want to do this when the first trap switch right here is the trap in question that you gotta stall for. But you know, if it's the other one, you can make it do, but you're gonna miss a lot of the hordes, so it's not really worth doing unless it's that that first switch. Or actually, I'll show you how to do it for the back switch too. But let's just say your trap timing is just not superb. And we gotta stall a bunch in courtyard here. So there's a couple different things we can do. Usually what I like to do is like the slow walk like this. Run over here. Slow walk here. Go around this guy. Slow walk. And usually by then the trap should be ready. As long as you're not like 10 seconds behind. And you can stall that more by like going here and then doing like a wide loop. But you'll learn it over time how to like do mega stalling to make sure your trap timing stays perfect. Or like somewhat close to perfect. That was kind of a risky scenario. But let's say that back switch is kind of fucked. Pretty much all you do is this. That's literally all you do if that back switch is fucked. And then you run over here and then... Fuck. That was a bad strafe. Do not try to strafe that doorway. It does not work. I've been out of the joint too long, you know. I forgot how to strafe on this map. But yeah, it's pretty simple. That's literally it. For the safety slow horde ups. What else? What else? I'm just gonna throw some random stuff in here, I guess. One thing is running with the Betty. Now, I see some people do this. I saw Celia do this. But, running with the Betty out isn't any faster than running with the Thompson or the Waff. Because I'll leave a link in the description to all the movement speeds of the weapons. But the Thompson and Waff are the same movement speed. So is the ray gun. So is the Bouncing Betty. They're all, like, the same movement speed. Which is, like, what are they, 100? I think they're just 100. No, wait. I'm not even looking at the spreadsheet, so don't take my numbers here. But, yeah, running with the Betty is, like, pretty much useless. The only thing that I can see it kind of being an advantage of is you can kind of switch weapons kind of quickly with it. I don't know if it's faster than just, like, I don't know. You can pull out the Waff pretty quickly from the Thompson if you just, like, weapon cancel. So you really shouldn't need to do that with the Betty. So yeah, usually Bettys are just, like, you know, not needed. Also, don't start running the strategy until... Well, you can start running this at, like, 50, 45, 40 if you wanted to, but it's going to be really fucked up, to be honest. So preferably you should be playing the strategy at, like, 56 plus, since 56 is when the spawn's max. So, yeah. Yep, that's it. Any questions? I'm always happy to answer them in the comments below. Alright, peace.